Kate Leigh was a notorious criminal who was probably one of Sydney's best known people from round about 1918 when she got into sly grog. She was born Kate Behan in Dubbo in 1881, which incidentally is the year after Ned Kelly was hanged. And she ran away from home. She was one of 13 children. Got involved in petty crime, got put into the Parramatta Industrial Home for Girls. She was in jail in 1916. She learned that the Holman Labor government in New South Wales had introduced 6 p.m. closing in pubs. Kate was always very cunning and street smart, and she thought, I'm going to satisfy this need for people to drink after 6 o'clock. She began opening up what were called sly grog shops. I'd definitely describe her as a crime entrepreneur. Sly grog was her major livelihood. At one stage, she owned 20 sly grog shops. So a lot of them were just shacks in the back of lanes where she sold illegal alcohol after 6 o'clock. At the height of her career, which would have been around about 1930, she was worth £250,000, which was the equivalent of millions of dollars today. She was one of Sydney's wealthiest people. She was successful because she had an outlaw heart. She was a pirate. She loved the life, but also because she was smarter, more ruthless, fearless. She was better than any of her criminal competitors, especially the men. Kate was instantly recognizable. She dressed like no one else. Her manner and mannerisms were like nobody else. She had a voice that could strip paint. She was always shouting. She would never speak when she could shout. She would wear big floppy hats with ostrich feathers. She would wear rings on every finger. She'd wear silver fox furs all year round. She would carry a handbag in which was a razor, a gun, and usually a roll of notes. She was known as the Queen of the Underworld and also the worst woman in Sydney. Tilly Devine and Kate Leigh had a fierce rivalry for decades. They genuinely hated each other. They set their gangs upon each other. There was a number of killings, there were untold slashings. The animosity was born of the fact that they were both women, both strong women, stronger than the men, who wanted to be known as Sydney's preeminent gang lord. And for a time they shared that. Kate had a humanitarian side. Like most of us, she was a mixture of good and bad. Admittedly, with her, it was more bad than good. But she was revered around Surrey Hills for the work that she did locally with the homeless, especially in the Depression, with women there who were doing it tough. She would give them groceries and so forth. Every Christmas, she would have a Christmas party. She'd have a henchman dressed as Santa, and he'd be dispensing toys and things, all of which had been shoplifted from Mark Foy's or David Jones. Kate Leigh's decline worsened in 1955, and the government got rid of 6 p.m. closing and introduced 10 p.m. closing. So really there was no need for someone to go to one of Kate's establishments. So that was the year that the taxman realised that she hadn't paid tax for a decade or more, and took her into bankruptcy court, where she was bankrupted and made to hand over her many houses, her cars, her furs, her jewellery, any money that she had. She passed away in 1964. She lived in poverty. She suffered a stroke on the 31st of January that year and died in St Vincent's 5 days later. And 700 people turned up at the funeral, including Tilly Devine, including radio disc jockeys. The Deputy Chief of Police gave the eulogy, which is extraordinary. Kate is almost like a benign yet scary presence that hovers over Surrey Hills and Darlinghurst to this day. Everybody knows Kate Leigh.